We'll move to the next chapter, e-way bill. Please come to the next chapter, e-way bill. Please come to e-way bill, everyone. Chalo, let's go ahead and now do the next chapter. The next chapter is e-way bill. People, we started learning GST with goods or service. Goods or service has to be supplied. Supply can be either interstate supply or supply can be either intrastate. Interstate supply, what will be levied? IGST. Intrastate, what will be levied? CGST and SGST. Once GST gets levied, GST has to be collected and paid by a taxable person. How will he collect and pay? He will calculate GST is equal to value of supply into rate of tax. Once you know the value, you will prepare the tax invoice, credit note, debit note and delivery challan. Once you go ahead and prepare the invoice, all this you will throw or you will maintain. You will maintain your accounts and records. Now you will send the goods to the other person. You have already raised the tax invoice. Now you will send the goods. So when you are sending the goods on the way, you need one document which is known as e-way bill. A bill means a document which you need on the way, which you should generate electronically, and hence it is called electronic way bill. Chalo, let's go ahead and understand e-way bill. Sir, what is your thought about e-way bill? I believe it's a B graded chapter. Either of the attempt may, you will see one question. Might be you can see, might be you not see. 50% chances are there, but a very good chapter. You must do it and go. Everyone over here now. Listen, e-way bill may, sir, who is required to generate e-way bill? Who is required to generate e-way bill? Always remember, either supplier will generate or the recipient will generate in case of supply. If it is not a supply, then consignor or consignee will generate in any other case. Remember one thing, whoever causes the movement will generate the e-way bill. So who will generate an e-way bill, everyone? Supplier, recipient, consignor or consignee, whoever causing the movement. Remember, e-way bill is for movement. Whenever goods will move, e-way bill has to be generated. Next. Sir, if the supply is unregistered, always remember, supposingly, I am unregistered, but I am sending the goods to you and you are registered person. Remember, movement is always deemed to be caused by recipient, and recipient will go ahead and generate the e-way bill. The next one over here. Sir, where will I go and generate? Go to ewaybillgst.gov.in and generate. Sir, how will I go ahead and generate? You have to fill one form called e-way bill form number 1. Then that part A and part B is there. Part A mein what will you fill? Transaction detail. Part B mein what will you fill? Transportation ka detail. Once you go ahead and fill, one unique e-way bill number will be provided to you. Now, the most important part for your exam, when is e-way bill required to be generated? When is e-way bill required to be generated? Remember, why is e-way bill required to be generated? Because you are causing the movement of goods of consignment value more than 50,000 rupees. Everyone remember one thing, every document is a consignment. For an example, I generated one invoice. One invoice means that is a consignment. I generated one more invoice, that is second consignment. I went ahead and generated one more invoice, that is the third consignment. You have to see every invoice ka value and decide whether you have to generate e-way bill or you don't have to generate e-way bill. For an example, all the three invoices ka bill, all the three invoices are there. All the three invoices ka goods, I put in only one truck and send it. Should I generate one e-way bill or three e-way bill? Three e-way bill. Every invoice is a separate consignment. Now, they are telling whenever the consignment value is more than 50,000, you have to generate the e-way bill. I want to go ahead and ask you some question. You tell me and I'll understand that you already know it. I went ahead and generated one tax invoice. ठीक है? Tax invoice may the value of my supply, supposingly I went ahead and put over here that the selling price, whatever the value of my supply, supposingly I went ahead and put 40,000 rupees. GST, I went ahead and charged 8,000. What is the consignment value, everyone? 48,000 or 40,000? 48,000. Remember, always the consignment value includes GST, and hence in this scenario my question is e-way bill required or not required? Not required. I went ahead and generated, supposingly, one tax invoice is there. The value is 50,000 rupees. GST is 5,000 rupees. Total value is 55,000. What is the consignment value? Consignment value is 55. Is the e-way bill required? Not required. Required. ठीक है. I generated one bill of supply. I am a composition dealer. I generated one bill of supply. The bill of supply may, the value which I showed is 60,000 rupees. I will not charge any GST. Do you guys agree with me? What is the consignment value? 60,000 rupees. Can I go ahead, everyone? I made one delivery challan. Delivery challan may, I went ahead and showed the value as 50,000 rupees, and I showed supposedly GST also 10,000. What is the consignment value? Is e-way bill required? Not required. Required. Chalo, I made one tax invoice come bill of supply. Tax invoice come bill of supply. I showed taxable supply 40,000. I showed exempt supply 10,000. On the taxable supply, I charge GST 8,000. Can you tell me the consignment value, everyone? Do you require e-way bill or not required? Remember, exempt supply never include in your consignment value. Never include exempt supply. And hence the value will be what, everyone? 48,000. E-way bill required, not required? This is the most important part you have to remember. Can I tell you one small line which you should remember? Always include GST. Always include GST, but never include exempt supply ka value. Remember, include GST, but don't include exempt supply ka value. And this is already told over here. How to determine consignment value? Always include the GST portion, but in case of value of supply, invoice come bill of supply, always exclude the value of exempt supply. I hope this point is clear to all of you. So remember one thing, whether I am doing intrastate movement or interstate movement, if the consignment value is more than 50,000, then e-way bill is required. Sir, consignment value up to 50, not required. More than 50, required. How will you determine that 50? Include GST, but exclude exempt supply. These two cases, the e-way bill is very, very mandatory. It is mandatory. It is mandatory. Remember, number one, interstate movement to a job worker. You don't see value. Interstate movement to job worker, and e-way bill is mandatory. If you are doing what, everyone? Interstate movement to a job worker, e-way bill is always mandatory. Intra or inter? Inter. If it is intra, consignment value. Inter, then Baba, not all interstate supply. Only when interstate supply, interstate movement is for what? Job work. Normally when you are required. Intra or inter, whenever consignment value is more than 50,000. But when you are sending for job work, intrastate, consignment value. Interstate mandatory. Can I go ahead, everyone? Next. Don't see the value. Interstate ka case mein, even if 1 rupee ka goods are sent for job work, compulsory e-way bill. The next one, interstate movement of handicraft goods by a person exempted from compulsory registration under section number 24, 1 and 2. Do you remember? Handicraft supplier who are casual taxable person or normal handicraft or handicraft supplier who are supplying goods from one state to another state. Always remember, they are not required compulsory registration. Up to what limit? 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs. Do you remember, everyone? Handicraft supplier are exempted from what? Compulsory registration, but not exempted from e-way bill. Remember it like this. Handicraft supplier and craftsman goods supplier who are supplying interstate are exempted from what? Compulsory registration under section number 24. Who are exempted from compulsory registration are not exempted from e-way bill. They have to generate e-way bill if they are doing interstate movement, even if the value is what? Less than 50,000 rupees. Compulsory e-way bill. Sir, how will they generate without GST number, PAN number? They will generate on the basis of PAN number. People, what are the three cases e-way bill is required? Very, very important from exam point of view. Number one, when the consignment value is more than 50,000. Intra or inter, consignment value is more than 50,000. Secondly, interstate movement to job worker, compulsory e-way bill. Then, interstate movement by a person who is exempted from compulsory registration. Remember, if you are exempted from registration, compulsory registration, do you remember? Interstate supplier of handicraft goods and that casual taxable person supplying interstate supply were exempted up to 20 lakh or 10 lakh. exempted from registration, but not from e-way bill. Let's go ahead. The next one, when should you generate e-way bill? When you are going on the way and caught? No. E-way bill should be always generated prior to movement. But remember, if transportation is by rail, air or ship, if transportation is by rail, air or ship, e-way bill may be generated after the commencement of the movement. In case of rail, air or ship, you need railway receipt number to generate e-way bill. You need airway bill number to generate e-way bill. That you will get only after you give the goods to them. So you can generate the e-way bill after also. This is about e-way bill ka validity. This is also very, very important from exam point of view. One mark, one small question can come. Remember this point, everyone. Sir, what is the validity of e-way bill? Remember one thing, if you are sending the goods by an over-dimensional cargo, by what everyone? Over-dimensional cargo, remember, or multimodal transportation, means supposingly from here to here, you are sending the goods. You are sending the goods by multiple modes. You are using first road, then you went ahead and used train, then you went ahead and used ship, then you went ahead and used plane. From here to here, supposingly multiple modes are used. Remember one thing, if multiple modes of transportation is there and ship is involved, then it will be always less than equal to 20 kilometers ke liye 1 day. But any other than over-dimensional cargo means normal truck or multimodal shipment where ship is not involved, other than these two, then always 200 kilometers ke liye 1 day. Chalo, I'll ask you one thing. If I am sending the goods by normal truck, validity. Arey, 1 day, how many kilometers? 200 kilometers. If I am sending by over-dimensional cargo, 20 kilometers, 1 day. If I am sending by, supposingly, I use train also, I use truck also, and I use this train also, then multiple modes, then 200 kilometers. If ship is involved in the transportation, then remember it is 20 kilometers, 1 day validity. Is my point clear to all? People, normal truck, 200 kilometers, 1 day. Over-dimensional truck, 20 kilometers, 1 day. Multimodal transportation, ship is not involved. 200 kilometers, 1 day. Multimodal transportation, ship is involved. 20 kilometers, 1 day. Very, very important from exam point of view. I'm telling you again, this part, consignment value calculation and this validity wala part is very, very important. Everyone over here now. Chalo, let's go ahead and understand that when you have to send the goods from here to here, what are the various sections which are involved? Everyone over here. See, when you are sending the goods by road, always remember, rule number 138A says that, sir, you should have the invoice or bill of supply or delivery challan plus the e-way bill. And in case of imports, you should always have with you what, everyone? Bill of entry. E-way bill is not required to be carried by the person in charge. The driver of the truck carries it. In case of plane, in case of train, the pilot of the plane, will he carry e-way bill? Do you think the officer will come in the air and tell, hey pilot, give the e-way bill? Not required. In case of air, in case of ship, in case of train, e-way bill is not required to be carried by whom? By the person in charge. I mean the train car guard who is there, or the driver who is there, plane ka pilot who is there, they are not required to carry e-way bill. Nowadays, e-invoicing is there, right, everyone? So in lieu of carrying the physical tax invoice, you can also carry the QR code. Dynamic QR code nahi baba. E-invoicing mein, the e-invoice ka one QR code is there. QR code having embedded IRN number. In case of e-invoice, you get this QR code. That QR code also you can carry at the time of movement. Now listen, when you are going on the way, what will happen? Rule number 138B says verification of the document and conveyance. This is just for your knowledge. When you are going on the way, officer will stop you and he will do the verification. After he has done the verification, rule number 138C says what? He will go online and he'll upload what report? Summary report and a final report. This is just for your knowledge, and now you can continue with your going. Now this above wala part is not important. One point which I want you to remember down here. What are the cases e-way bill is not required? People, these are nothing for me to explain. You can just read and go. What are the cases when e-way bill is not required? Okay? Just read and go. That, sir, these are the cases when e-way bill is not required. But here, one point I want you to remember that, sir, in case of carrying pearl, precious stone, metal, jewelry, goldsmith, all this gold, jewelry, etc. When you are carrying, e-way bill is not required. But this is not applicable in case of what, everyone? Imitation jewelry. If you are carrying imitation jewelry, e-way bill will be required. Can I go ahead, everyone? Other than this, in this part, everything is just for your reading purpose. Please come to the next chart. Please come to the next chart. Everyone over here now. There are some scenario. This above wala portion is just for knowledge. Just for your knowledge. The above wala portion is just for your knowledge. Nothing to explain. Here, the most important part is rule number 138E. Listen to me very carefully. What is rule number 138E going ahead and telling? Rule number 138E says restriction on furnishing the information in part A of e-way bill. You know what? Your e-way bill portal will be blocked. Your e-way bill portal will be blocked. It means if you want to generate your e-way bill, your name cannot be shown as the seller. Sir, he is buying from me. I cannot generate. Can he generate? Baba, when he is also generating, the recipient is generating, he will put you as the seller. He will not be able to generate e-way bill. Sir, I want to generate and send. You also can't generate and send. Remember, no one will be able to generate your e-way bill, you as the seller, when you have done this default. No person shall be allowed to furnish information in part A in respect of what? Outward movement of goods of a registered person who, number one, being a composition dealer, being a composition registered person, has not furnished CMP08 for how many quarter? 2 consecutive quarter. Array quarter ka spelling is QUAR. R is missing. Okay? Everyone listen. I am a composition dealer. Since 2 quarter, I have not gone ahead and given my CMP08. I have not paid my tax. I have not furnished CMP08. What will happen? E-way bill portal blocked. Next, I am a person other than A, means I am not a composition dealer and I am not furnished return for a consecutive period of 2 tax period. What is 2 tax period? 2 tax period means people, if you are under monthly return, 2 months ka return, if you did not file which return, GSTR 3B, you did not file for 2 months, e-way bill portal block. If you are under quarterly return, 2 tax period means 2 quarter. If you did not file your GSTR 3B, e-way bill portal blocked. Person other than A, means other than composition dealer, has not furnished GSTR 1 for any 2 months or 2 quarter. If you have not filed GSTR 1 for 2 months or 2 quarter, e-way bill portal block. A person whose registration has been suspended. Do you remember in your registration chapter, suspension is there. If your registration is suspended, during the period of suspension, you can't generate e-way bill. Can you tell me 4 cases when your e-way bill portal gets blocked? Number 1, composition dealer, CMP08 not filed for 2 quarter. GSTR 3B not filed for 2 months or 2 quarter. GSTR 1 not filed for 2 months or 2 quarter. Registration is suspended, e-way bill can't be generated. Sir, please unblock my e-way bill ka portal. Go to the commissioner. If commissioner wants, he can issue an order and he can allow you, or he can go ahead and give. He can reject also after providing an opportunity of being heard. In this point, I want you to remember one thing very importantly. They will tell you in the exam, for an example, Sanjay, right? Sanjay went ahead and Sanjay wants to supply goods to me. And I want to supply supposingly goods to, madam, your name? Sharon. I want to supply goods to Sharon. Okay? Sanjay wants to supply to me and I want to supply to Sharon. And I am the person in default. I have not gone ahead and filed my GSTR 3B for 2 months. Can you tell me, can Sanjay supply me the goods? Can Sanjay supply me the goods? Yes. For him, there is no problem. Can I buy from him? Yes. E-way bill can be generated. No problem. Can I sell to Sharon? For my sale, for my outward supply, I cannot generate e-way bill. For my buying, there is no problem. For my selling, see everyone, remember, okay? For your outward movement, e-way bill can't be generated. Today, go home and do one question on rule number 138E. Very, very important part. Everyone over here, I have gone ahead and written some important points over here. These points are important. Always remember this point. Everyone over here now. Some important points. People, for 3 invoices, can I generate 1 e-way bill? Why not? Supposingly, everyone here, you gave me one order for 1,80,000 rupees ka goods. ठीक है? How much ka goods? 1,80,000. I went ahead and made 3 shops I have. ठीक है? From here I gave one bill. From here I gave one bill. From here I gave one bill. One bill is 60,000 plus GST. One bill is 40,000 plus GST. One bill is 80,000 plus GST. I put all of them. Listen. Everyone over here. I put all of them in one truck and send it to you. I put all of them in one truck, all the goods, and I'm sending to you. Can I generate one eBay bill? 3 tax invoices. Can I generate one eBay bill? Louder. No. Here also have to generate one eBay bill. Here also have to generate one eBay bill. Here also have to generate one eBay bill. But here it is not required because the value is only 40,000 plus. Might be it is not crossing 50, so eBay bill not required. But remember, if 3 document, all the values are exceeding 50,000 rupees, including GST, 3 eBay bill will be required. But listen, I am the transporter, no? If I have 1 eBay bill, 2 eBay bill, 3 eBay bill, I will get confused. So what transporters can do, they can go ahead and consolidated 1 eBay bill they can make, where they will show invoice eBay bill number 1, eBay bill number 2, eBay bill number 3, all the eBay bill ka detail they can show, and they can generate one consolidated eBay bill. But remember one thing, 3 invoices means first generate 3 eBay bill, and the 3 eBay bill you can consolidate in one document. That document is known as consolidated eBay bill. It is not that 3 invoices ke liye 1 eBay bill can be generated. No. Everyone over here now, let's go ahead. So it says transporter may generate consolidated eBay bill in EWB02 indicating the serial numbers of the eBay bill. I went ahead and generated one eBay bill. Can I cancel it? Yes, you can cancel within 24 hours, but before it is being verified in transit. It should not have been verified. If verified, you can't go ahead and cancel. Sir, I generated eBay bill in the state of Tamil Nadu. Is it valid across India? Yes, Baba. eBay bill generated in one state. If you are going to any other state, it will still be valid. Sir, I went ahead and sent the goods by rail. In rail, so you told railway ka case mein eBay bill need not be generated prior to movement. I can generate after also. Yes or no? So here they went ahead and told railway will not give the delivery unless eBay bill is produced at the time of delivery. When you are taking the delivery, you should show the eBay bill, only then they will give you the delivery. Sir, can I generate eBay bill even if the value is less than 50,000 or equal to 50,000? Yes, it is optional. Sir, can I authorize my transporter? Can I authorize my courier agency to generate eBay bill for me? Can he only fill part A? Can he only fill part B? Yes, you can authorize your transporter, courier agency, and they can only generate the eBay bill for you. But remember, if you have gone ahead and done any default, those 4 default, then your transporter, your courier agency, they can also not generate eBay bill for you because you have done a default. Next, sir, consignor is also not generating, consignee is also not generating. Both are unregistered. Or sir, both are telling the value is less than 50,000, so we are not generating. But transporter has got 2-3 people say goods, and the value is more than, total value is more than 50,000. The transporter, only in case of interstate supply, must himself generate a eBay bill. Everyone, one point which I want you to remember. This one I want you to remember. Listen. Generally, eBay bill ka part A and part B both should be filled. Only then the eBay bill is valid. eBay bill is valid when part A and part B both are filled. Okay? But there is an exception. Sir, what is the exception? Here, don't cut anything unless I tell you in the chart book. Here, I am sending the goods from my premises. Okay. I am sending the goods from my premises, supposingly to him. Motu is sending to Patlu. Now listen. First, Motu went ahead and sent the goods to, supposingly, goods transport agency. Goods transport agency will unload the goods in the big truck, and they will take the goods and go to Delhi, supposingly. In Delhi, they will unload in a small truck, and the small truck will take the goods over here. Always remember one thing. If you are sending to a goods transport agency, if you are sending from your premises to home, GTA, then remember, if you are sending to the transporter and if it is intrastate movement and the distance is only up to 50 kilometer, fill part A, don't require to fill part B. Part B who will fill? Transporter will fill, his truck ka detail, take the goods and go. Next, sir, but if the distance is more than 50 kilometer, part A and part B both will be required. Sir, supposingly goods reach the final destination. From there, it has to go to the final consignee. Remember, if the distance over here is only up to 50 kilometer, part B updation is not required. You don't have to put new vehicle ka detail, not required. But if the distance is more than 50 kilometer, part A and part B both will be required. I'll tell you one thing. Generally, part A and part B both are required to be filled. But if you are sending it to the transporter or transporter ka place say it is going to the final destination, if the distance is only 50 kilometer, part B details are not required. Even if you fill part A and send to the transporter or transporter from his place is sending to you 50 kilometers ka distance, no problem. Part B updation is not required. Everyone over here, one small point is over here that whenever you are sending your goods to at everyone, where? Weighing bridge. Always remember weighing bridge if you are sending and the distance is up to 20 kilometers, e-way bill is not required. You can send along with delivery challan. But if distance is more than 20 kilometers, delivery challan plus e-way bill both are required. Please come to the top. This chapter is a B graded chapter. I've already told you what thing you should remember. On the left hand side, I've told you. On the right side, no. People, there is one small circular. This circular, I will tell you. Everyone listen. Everyone here. This is the state of Tamil Nadu. This is the state of Tamil Nadu. And suppose this is an SEZ unit. Okay? Supplying to SEZ is intra or interstate? Interstate. Supposingly, I am over here and I am sending the goods to SEZ. Intrastate movement or interstate movement? Tell no. Interstate supply, right? Interstate. Remember one thing, in e-way bill, we don't care about interstate supply or we don't see whether it is supply or not. We don't see about supply. We see about movement. And this movement is what kind of movement? Intrastate movement. It is called what movement? Intrastate movement. This is just for your knowledge that this movement will be called what kind of movement? Inter or intra? Intra. Why? Because it is within the same state. Can I go ahead, everyone? But what kind of a supply it is? Interstate supply. We are not talking about supply. E-way bill deals with movement. And this movement is what movement? Intrastate. Chalo, I'll ask you one question. This is Tamil Nadu. This is Tamil Nadu. This is Karnataka. Okay? I am the supplier over here. This is the buyer over here. What I did, no, I put the goods in a truck and I send from, I am also in Tamil Nadu. He is also in Tamil Nadu. What kind of a supply it is? Supply. Intrastate supply. But you know what? I send the truck like this from here to here so that traffic can be avoided. I send it from other state. It went from here to here. Did it enter other state? Did it enter other state? What kind of a movement it is? Intra or inter? This movement will be called interstate movement. Are we clear? You know why I told you this? Whenever it is within the state movement, no, that state ka GST laws are applicable. But if it is interstate movement, no, central GST laws, CGST laws are applicable. This is just for your knowledge, not important from exam point of view. Remember, if goods transit through another state while moving from one area to another area in the same state, it's always interstate movement. DTA to SEZ within the same state, we'll always call it what movement? Intrastate movement. Not important. People, when is e-way bill not required? Please read and go. You can see a small question in the exam. Please be very careful. This next one, e-way bill ka blocking wala provision. Please remember this. Please remember what are the important points which I have already told you over here. These important points are important. That is why I have told important points. This point is important, that when is part B updation not required? This one. When is part B updation not required? When is it not required, everyone? When you are sending it to the transporter, distance is up to 50 kilometer. Transporter to the final destination when the distance is up to 50 kilometer. Inter or intra? Intrastate movement. That's all, everyone. I'll close my revision on the chapter of E-way.